Now, I also like to talk a lot about diversity, and I worry a lot about it. I worry about the direction of this country. And if we aren't doing this for the good of our country and for the good of our state and our citizens, we shouldn't do these jobs. So I worry a lot about this. I spent a lot of my life worrying about education at all kinds of levels, from all the way from lower K-12 to all the way up through as far up as you can go in higher ed. But I see the statistics, and you know, the United States worldwide, we would rank in the top 1, 2, 3, 4 in all the various categories. Where are we now? 10, 20, 30th, and we just keep falling. So I think we have a serious obligation at the University of Colorado to help provide more and better teachers. And we've been very involved in some of these reforms, and they're going to keep coming. And I'm big on things like Teach for America. When Jerry Worko was superintendent of schools, I chaired the foundation for him. We brought Teach for America here. I think that's one of the best programs there is. And we got to get people to think outside the box, and how are we going to do things differently? And we got to train better teachers, because I worry about what's going to happen. In 2043, I believe it is now, the minority will be the majority in this country. And if we don't educate all of these people, we're going to be in deep trouble. And it's not going to happen in my lifetime, or maybe my kids even. But my grandkids are going to suffer if we don't take care of this problem and educate people and get everybody, give them educational opportunities. So I'm going to stress that. But I'm going to stress another kind of diversity, and that's political diversity, political thought. We need to have a balance. I think everybody knows that 80, 90% of your faculty are a bit more liberal than I am. We will say it that way. But you know what you also find? You find that most of them that don't really care about that. I asked my geology buddies at Boulder, I said, what are you guys, Democrats or Republicans? Oh, we're Democrats. We go vote every 2 years and we go back and do our research teaching. We don't care about that. But that's what most of them are. But you have to have this thought. You got to have arguments. You have to have discussions. I said one night at a dinner table, and we got two guys sitting there, John Osborne, hardline conservative, Rut Bridges, not quite a conservative. And I said, you know, it's a lot more fun to have a dinner with Rut than it is with John, because John and I agree. And Rut and I don't, so we can have a good discussion. That's what brings it out. So we're doing a lot right now. They started something called Western Civ. It kept failing because they couldn't bring in the right people to run it. We brought in the right guy. We're now putting out certificates in Western civilization, and that's a balanced kind of approach there. And actually, we don't have a big conservative running it. The guy that's running it is I'd call him a moderate, very moderate kind of a Democrat. But he understands the idea of having a debate. So then we had our conservative chair in, and I told Phil DeStefano, I said, we're going to get this chair done, whatever, and just make it happen. Well, Betsy Hoffman tried it, Hank Brown tried it twice at UNC in Boulder, couldn't get it done. And by God, we got it done. So we got this in, we got it funded, we got a great guy in it the first year, Steve Hayward, and I learned a lot from him about how you handle things. And he says, you know, you've got to understand that the old line conservatives and liberals want to have a debate. It's the young people that have all the answers. So you got to create that. So you learn from him, and I told him I've been working with Hoover Institute out at Stanford, trying to bring in some of those kind of principles and things there. And he said, you're doing the wrong one. Go to Princeton and see Robbie George. I said, well, I don't know him, but I know of him. And so I called him. Marcy and I flew back. We met with him, talked to him about it. And then Leonard Diniger, who's a conservative, my chief of staff, Sue Sharkey, another conservative, and then Bob Pasnow, who's running the Western Civ. The three of them went back and spent a couple of days, went through the whole program, understanding it. Now, I don't totally agree with what he's doing, but then a familiar name popped up, because there's something called the Bradley Institute that finances a bunch of that. And that's headed up, or had been up until a few months ago, by a guy named Terry Considine, and I assume some of you might know him. And Terry and I have been buddies and business partners and everything else for many years. I said to Terry one night, so, you're going to fund me if I do this? And he said, yeah, give us a proposal. Let's see what it is. So we're going to go forward with that. And then we're doing one other thing, and we're merging all these things and changing. And by the way, conservative chair, get rid of that word conservative. So we're going to have a new word. We're going to probably call it chair in American values, because you don't want to have these hot button words.